everybody. Welcome back to another episode of God Built This Podcast. I am your host, Maxine, and we're on episode 38. Okay, listen. Please don't ask me if you're a Christian and you're my friend. Let's just start from this, okay? If I am telling you about me dating someone, don't ask me if he's saved. Okay? I'm going to say it again. Don't ask me if my nigga is saved. Because let me tell you this. The answer is no. No. The answer is no. Look, stop. First of all, what is saved? What does that mean? And I know I sound like, oh gosh, here we go. But my point is, a lot of times when I'm introducing someone, or like when I'm introducing someone who I'm dating in conversation to a friend of mine who happens to be Christian, the first question that they think to ask me is, oh, est-ce qu'il est converti? Which means, is he saved? For my Haitian Creole learners out there, that means, is he saved? Does he know the Lord? Does he accept Christ as his personal? Nigga, no. Because, I just, look. I just feel like there is so much of an emphasis on, does he follow this set path that was conditioned for us to follow in order for someone to be a good person, right? Whenever you hear someone say, oh, I'm a God-fearing Christian, or I'm someone who fears the Lord, I am a revering Christian, whatever it is, it's like there's a high expectation of that person. There is this, there's just this respect that you have because, wow, he says he's a God-fearing Christian. Wow, he says he's saved. Nigga is still a nigga. What? What are we talking about? I just want us to stop thinking that there's this like fantastical image of a man once he's quote unquote saved, A man is 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 a, like, I could go on and on. I'm just so sick of it. How about asking me, and I haven't been asked this yet, but I know it's coming. Because it has come before. And every time I've talked about a nigga to my friends, to my family, I will have some people respond and ask me, est-ce qu'il est converti? Okay, is he saved? Does that nigga know the Lord? And the answer is no. It's no. Nope. It's like, of course, he knows the Lord, right? But it's like, when I'm asked that question, if someone is saved, right? There's also that expectation of, oh, he's saved, therefore he goes to church. Therefore, he is an active member in his church. Therefore, he, is an avid Bible reader. Nigga, no, he's not. Okay? Like, I'm just like tired of this, like, okay, before you ask me if he's a good person, if he takes care of himself and his responsibilities, and if he is a man of his word, if he's this and that, the first question is he saved? And then an argument could be, well, if he's saved, right, then he would do all of those other things. It will come naturally, right? Because if you're a saved person, right, then you naturally would be a man of honor, a man of integrity, a man of respect. And that's honorable and all, but I also don't believe that it takes religion and it takes knowing or like having a personal relationship with God according to what Christianity says that's supposed to look like for you to be a good person, for you to be a man of your word. Like, nigga, you should just be that, you know? And my dude, he's that. Like, he is that. And it's not like he's an atheist. It's not like he doesn't believe in the Lord. It's just that where I am in my walk right now, I'm not an avid, like, preacher. Like, I'm not stringent upon if he's this certain Christian, this man who goes to church every Sunday, who even goes to church during the week, who even attends Bible study and helps out for youth Sundays and blah, 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 blah. Because here's the thing, when you're so fixated on one thing, right, of the image of that thing, when it comes down to recognizing the red flags in someone, you sometimes tend to ignore those red flags because, well, hey, at least he goes to church every Sunday. At least he knows how to dress well, right? He puts on his Sunday's best. At least his hair is cut low and he looks great. And, you know, it's like, okay, yeah, but does he know what it means to be a provider? Does he know what it means to be a protector? Does he know what it means to be a man of his word, a man who is consistent? And my dude, my boo, he does. When I tell you I really like him, like, this is really like, oh my God, like, this is really real. And I'm saying it's real because it's been a month. Like, I just realized, wow, we've been talking and hanging out consistently for a month now. And that hasn't happened in a while for me and these niggas. And I'm to the point where I'm going to stop calling him a nigga. And that's how you know it's real. That's how you, when I stop using the N-word for him. But it's to the point where there is a consistency. And when I tell you that, it's something that has been such a requirement for me in my dating experiences, because many times I have these dudes who would be consistently inconsistent. Like, nigga, I know you're not calling me today because today's Wednesday, today's Friday, and you don't usually pick up your phone on those days. Okay? So the fact that I've been used to consistent, inconsistent ass niggas, okay, when a real man comes along and is consistent and is not doing it for a front, it's just like, this is his character, this is who he is, and he is just showing me more of who he is as we continue to hang out and get to know each other. And the more I get to know him, the more time I spend with him, I realize that, wow, I am really liking who he is. Like, I like who he is. Like, genuinely, just as is. And it's not on no, because I remember dudes I would date before, and I'll fuck with before, nigga. It ain't gotta be a date. But dudes I would mess with before, that's a proper description, okay? Because not everyone I'm dating, okay? Okay? But dudes I would mess with before would sometimes, like, well, oftentimes be a certain persona, like try to put on this chivalrous, gentleman-like front. And then by day 3, it's like, nigga, huh? Are we still together? Because I haven't heard from you. Yet, my dude, right? Like, my dude is just consistently consistent. Nigga texts me good morning every day. And it's not even on no, like, it's not like there's a time schedule. It's just like a natural thing. Like, I'm a part of his day. I'm a part of his communication. And it's not like this robotic type of, okay, it's 8 o'clock. It's 8 a.m. I'm waiting for that good morning text. What's going on, nigga? That's not what's happening. It's just like, oh, I know we'll talk today. Or whether it's earlier in the day or later on in the evening. afternoon time. I know we're communicating. And like, if we don't talk often within a day, it doesn't trip me up, because I know we will talk often the following day, or I know we are making plans or have already made plans to hang out the next day or the next 2 days. You know what I mean? So it's been a consistent pattern with him, so much so that there is a level of comfort that is growing when I think of him and when I'm spending time with him, because he is being who he is naturally, and it's appeasing to me. Okay, like, who he is appeasing to me. It's not about who he could be, right? It's not about, oh, I see so much potential. No, nigga, I don't see potential, because I see what I see in him and I like it. Girl, let me say it again. I see what I see in him, and I like it, okay? There's no changing. There's no switching it up. There's no, well, I really see in the future that we could be something strong. No, I see currently strength. I see currently a man of honor. I see currently wisdom. Like, I see that currently as we are going through this journey together. I see it. And it's just an amazing feeling. But when I think about like the pattern or the boxes that needs to be checked according to many of my Christian peers, it bothers me sometimes, because I think oftentimes we don't see a person for who they are unless they fit a particular box of what we think we should have in our life, right? Earlier in this podcast, when I started, obviously I was super avid in talking about equally yoked and unequally yoked people being together in a romantic relationship or even a platonic relationship. And, you know, I would kind of preach on the Bible and pick apart different stories that I could connect with my personal experiences. When I think about unequally yoked and equally yoked couples, I see it past what I've been conditioned to believe it should be, right? Initially, I would think, oh, well, we're equally yoked if we are both Christians, if we are both people who like to go to church, if we are, you know, like all of these like check boxes, right? If we are both active in ministry, like that was a big thing for me back then. Like, no, my man has to be a man of God. My man has to know the word. My man has to pray over me. Nigga, my man has to take me out to eat. What's up? What is up? Like, I just feel like, look, you having to follow a particular religion, right? A particular pathway shouldn't have me determine whether or not you're worthy to be my companion. You know, like that shouldn't be it for me. And I'm saying that because I could have missed out on a good thing if I started off with, are you a Christian? Do you believe the Lord Jesus Christ is our Lord, is our Lord and Savior? Do you believe He risen on the third day? Huh? He died and rose. Do you? What's up? Do you believe God is the only true living God and Jesus is the Lord? All these things is like, bitch, chill. Can you fucking chill? I remember when I was a virgin, and at that time I was thinking about like celibacy, like really waiting, not celibacy, I guess abstinence at that time, because I didn't have any sex. So I was a virgin, and I was thinking about maybe if I tell the people, like the men or the boys at that time who I was dating or flirting with or whatever, that I'm a virgin, that they'll know exactly, you know, what it is, what's up, you know? And oftentimes when I did that, niggas went ghost. Okay? Like, where are you type of ghost? And I would think to myself, huh? I thought I was the good girl. I thought I was, and I'm not saying you have to not be a virgin to have, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying with that. But my point is, I just feel like you don't have to come off so strong to people. Like, just get to know the person, right? Get to know who someone is. When you're so stuck on, oh, are they a God-fearing Christian? Do they believe, like, all these extra things, I feel like doesn't really make a person, right? They just make someone who fits this fantastical image. Intimately, who are you? Intimately, who is, like, what is your character? You know, if I were to describe you aside from religion, aside from beliefs, aside from just what Abrahamic religions says you're supposed to be, right? Who are you? And I just encourage you guys to really think about that. Like, aside from saying, oh, I'm a God-fearing this, I'm a Christian, I'm gonna do this, who are you, period? Like, if religion wasn't in the picture, right? If church was in the picture, like, all these things that come into play that identifies who we are aren't really real. And I'm not saying God's not real. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying we put so much of our identity in the Bible or in Christianity and these beliefs that we were raised to believe that we don't know who we are separate from that. And that's just, like, scary to me. Like, what are your morals? What do you like and don't like? Are you so stuck on beliefs, or are you like in tune with what you like and what you don't like, and what makes you happy and what doesn't make you happy, and what makes you tick, what makes you passionate? Or are you basing that solely off of what you were taught to believe based off of a Bible that was written by a girl? I'm just gonna take it one step at a time. All I'm saying is, don't ask me if my nigga is saved. Because the answer is no. And by saved, I mean by your standards of saved, right? And I'm uncomfortable with that question now. I used to not be. And oh my God, I'm so different now. It's so crazy. But I'm loving where I am right now. I'm loving where I'm going in my journey, in life, in reflection, in growth. But it does kind of trip me out to see, like, how I think about different things. But I just feel like oftentimes we put too much emphasis on these, like, extra things, and we don't really sit down and just talk to people, you know? Like, instead of saying, oh, I'm a Christian, or oh, I'm an atheist, oh, I'm a Jew, right? Or oh, I'm this, I'm a that. Okay, but who are you? Like, okay, if you just scratch that, right? If you don't introduce yourself with that, who are you? Are you a lover? Are you a kind person? Are you a giver, a receiver? Like, tell me who you are. And sometimes we don't know who we are because we are so fixated on who we should be, and we don't realize, who are we right now? Who the fuck are you? Like, it's just frustrating. So I just want that question to stop. And I feel like it's invasive too. Like, who the fuck are you to tell me who I could date or not date just because that question of, is he saved, est-ce qu'il est converti, is not answered the way that it should be answered. I remember this dude I used to date, and I introduced my parents to him, or before I introduced my parents to him, like in the physical form, I talked about him in person. Like, I brought him up in conversation to my parents. And I, like, described, you know, yeah, he's this, he works this, blah, blah, blah. And the first question I was asked, before anything else, before how does he make you feel? What about that question, y'all? Like, how does he make you feel? How does he treat you? Do you feel loved? Do you feel protected? Do you feel respected? Right? those are good. Those are the questions you should be asking someone when someone talks to you about, when a loved one talks to you about someone they're dating, right? But yeah, so when I was introducing this person in conversation to my parents, the first question I was asked by my mom, because she's like super, those who know my mom know what I'm talking about. But like, she asked me, est-ce qu'il est converti? Okay, is he saved? That was the first question. And it's like, and in that moment, I felt like, oh, okay, I have to say these correct answers. I have to present him to be this God-fearing person so he will look acceptable in my parents', well, in my mom's eyes, you know, because she specifically was the one who asked me that question. And then I just feel like, huh? Why the fuck do I need to do that? Like, at the end of the goddamn day, let me tell y'all something. You are the one with your person. You are it. And of course, it will be nice to have the approval or the validation from your loved ones and of course your parents, right? But at the end of the day, you're the one sleeping with him or her. You're the one living with him or her. You're the one spending time. Like, you're the one in bed with this person. If he doesn't make you happy, don't be with him just because, oh, well, he goes to church every Sunday. Nigga, who the fuck is? Huh? What? If he doesn't do you right, but at least he praises the Lord. If he don't get out of my face with that. Like, please get out of my face. Thanks. Got it. I don't have time for that. I think it's just foolish. Like, that shouldn't be a question, I just feel like. But because that is such of a emphasis in Christianity, like, oh, you gotta date a Christian, you gotta date someone who falls under this category, who loves the Lord, who is passionate, who is after the, oh my gosh, I'm so sick. Can y'all shut up? Let me tell you what I'm sick of, aside from what I'm saying. Don't tell me my man needs to chase the Lord. I'm gonna say it again. I don't think you heard me. Put it up real quick. Put it up. Don't tell me my man needs to chase me. Okay, let me stop. I'm gonna go in and I need to wrap this up. But this is like frustrating. Like, there are these expectations that people put upon you in your relationships, and it's like, but you're not the one who's building with this person, right? This person, your parent, your mom, your dad asking you all of these questions that don't matter should not dictate whether or not you're going to be with that person still. You know what I mean? Like, don't let these questions alter your happiness. Like, if this person makes you happy, like, obviously, if he's not abusing you, right? If he's not gaslighting you, if he's not making you feel foolish and disrespected, of course, aside from those things, it shouldn't matter. Like, I just don't feel like those things matter. Like, I have two friends in my life who come from completely different backgrounds. And by backgrounds, I mean different religions, different cultures, different ethnicities. And they are love. Like, they love each other. They exude love with each other. And I see it. I feel it. I recognize it. And what would have been sad was if they decided not to, or if they never took that step to be together because, oh, this person is not of the same religion or background as me. Oh, it's not going to work. When it's like, no, it works because you make it work. You don't have to be Muslim and the other person be Muslim to make it work. You don't have to be Christian. Like, I just don't feel like those things matter when it comes to love. Love is the greatest. Out of all of that, love conquers all. And I feel like I'm sounding like a Hallmark card, but all of those things don't matter. Like, just shut the fuck up. Do you love me? Okay. All right. So what? You're Jewish. Okay. Look, I I get the whole, it makes like things easier, right? When you're eventually raising a family, how are you going to raise it? But I just ultimately feel like if you really are attracted to someone and you feel called to them, and when you test it out with that person, there is a mutual feeling, mutual understanding between the two, don't let anything or anyone get in the way of that. Don't let religion get in the way of that. Don't let these Abrahamic traditions get in the way of that. Just fucking be. Just be. Like, get out of my face. Oh, well, he says he's not a Christian, so I can't be with him anymore. I don't know what voice I just gave right now, but my point is my point. Okay? Just stop with the BS. And anyways, back to when my mom said that, it just made me feel like, oh, I have to respond in a manner that makes her feel comfortable with my relationship. And I know it wasn't, like, it's not her intention to do that. It's like, you know, obviously your parents wish the best for you. And they spew out what has been spewed to them. And I get that. As I'm growing, I become more compassionate to those who are kind of stuck in a particular mindset. But at the end of the goddamn day, you have to take control of your life. You have to be in control of your life. And if someone makes you happy, it cannot and it should not determine, it should not be like conflicted with expectations from other people. You know? So when my mom asked that question, I instantly responded with, well, he goes to this church. He was raised this way, and he was raised Catholic at first. And, he was raised Catholic. His family is Catholic. My old dude. And he, that was not okay. Like, oh my gosh, he's not Christian. Like, he's not a real Christian. He has to be Baptist. He has to be baptized in the name of the Lord. That type of Christian. And it's like, oh great, now there's these types of Christians you have to be. Like, it's just all these extra things, like, oh, you can't just say you love the Lord. You gotta love the Lord and be a Baptist. You gotta love the Lord and be a devout Baptist. You gotta love the Lord and be a devout Baptist and actively go to church. You gotta love the Lord, be a devout Baptist, actively go to church, and be a part of the praise and worship team. Nigga, no! Can you just take me out consistently? Huh? Can you just be a man of your word? Can you just be a man of morals? Can you just make me happy? Can you just make me feel sexy? Can you make me feel protected and valued and appreciated? Yes, yes, and yes, and yes, and yes. Okay, you my nigga. What's up? What's up? And I just think that, obviously, as long as he's not hurting someone, right? As long as he's not being abusive or just like, horrible, I just think all those extra things shouldn't matter. And that's just my message for tonight. Stop asking me if my nigga is saved, sis. Don't ask me, sis. Please. It's just like that. I not really encourage you guys, in case you are the ones who are asking those questions to other people or to me, don't. And instead of asking, is he saved? Just ask, how does he make you feel? Describe him to me. Words like that. And so when you start off with something like that, with how does he make you feel? Describe him to me. It makes it comfortable and less, there's no pressure to put on this front. There's no pressure for the other person, the person who's responding to that question, to respond in a way that makes you feel at ease with their relationship. Just how I felt in that moment when my mom asked me that question is if he's saved, est-ce qu'il est converti? I felt an immense amount of pressure to make him be this type of man, when instead it should have been focused on if he is good to me, right? It should have been focused on if he makes me happy, if he brightens up my day, if he is consistent, if he is a man of honor. And my dude is. And I really like that. I like him. And it's good. It's good. And I don't want to talk about my feelings. I don't like to talk about my feelings. But it's good. And I was just thinking, like, okay, eventually I'm going to start talking about him to, like, more people, or, like, people, not just y'all. But I just feel like this is like a pre-warning, like not a warning, but a pre-warning. Like before the warning, this is it. Okay, listen to this episode first. Refer people to this episode because nigga, stop. Okay, because half of y'all Christian men, right? And right now I am doing the bunny ears, the quotation marks in the air. Half of y'all Christian men ain't really about nothing. Okay, I'll stick with my roughneck nigga who is a man of consistency. Day, okay? Because I'm just so sick of it. Like, there's these dudes who, not these dudes, but like, there was one guy who I was so like, oh my gosh, he is so fine, at this church that I go to here. And he is like, I just feel like he's corny. And this is a whole other episode too, because oftentimes, and I'm not saying every Christian man. I'm not. And I don't want to do that because there are some good Christian men out there who love the Lord and is attractive and is not corny, right? But when I take a third, fifth, 10th look at the dude who I was really into at the church that I go to here, I realized that I feel like he's just not... He doesn't capture my gaze. And by that I mean I feel like he's not sexy. You know, he doesn't turn me on. Like physically he's attractive, but I think aside from his physicality, there isn't that oomph. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all ladies know what I'm talking. There's that oomph. Like, ooh, what's up? You got a new haircut? What's up? Oh, you bald today? Okay, what's up? Right? The dude at the church that I go to doesn't give me that, right? And I think I was falling, not in love, but like I was falling in what's the word? Infatuation with the persona that he gave when in church, right? He was an avid worshiper. His hand was always up in the air. He was proud. He was a proud worshiper. And that's amazing. That's admirable. And there's a woman out there who will worship him right. Hallelujah. I'm not the one. Okay? Because I think about who I am. And I think about like all of me. I'm a lot. And I say that with respect to myself. Oftentimes people who say, oh, I'm a lot, I'm too much for you, I feel like that's said in a dismissive way to the person, right? Like instead of saying, oh, I'm a lot, I'm too much. No, I'm enough. And I think I'm a lot for you. Okay? There's nothing about me that needs to be changed as far as being too much or whatever. I'm enough, right? And I feel like me in all my essence and all of my glory is too much for him. I feel like I'm too loud for him. I feel like I am too just heavy for him. Heavy in a good way, but I feel like he may want or desire a meek girlfriend. Maybe someone who doesn't have a loud personality. Maybe someone who doesn't have humor. Maybe someone who doesn't say nigga all the time. Nigga. Okay? Maybe someone who doesn't do that. And so I feel like if I were to have put myself in a position where he would have pursued me, I would have turned into someone who I'm truly not. And instead of doing that I'm just going to operate in who I am. And whoever is attracted to me as I am will be. Say it again. Whoever is attracted to me as I am, not as I may be, not as I have potential to be, but as I am in this moment. That's what am means, right? Will be attracted to me. And so I think with that dude, there was just this like, oh, I don't know. Like, oftentimes I feel like men who are like avid worshipers, they want their woman to be this submissive, to be this meek, maybe quiet character. Maybe not all of them, of course, but like, I feel like they may not really desire a woman who has an opinion. And I clearly have an opinion, right? I'm gonna be like, I'm for abortion, I'm for choice. And they'll be like, yeah, but it's not gonna work out. We're not equally yoked. Like, all right, nigga, fine, fuck you. But I just think there is, this is expectation that men of God may have for their woman. That's totally fine, of course. But I know that I don't fit that. And that's fine as well. And so instead of falling infatuation with this persona, why not just be myself? And those who are attracted to me will attract. And if it bites, it bites, you know? And so I just think there is too much of an emphasis on, you know, does this person fit this box? Does this person show themselves to be a good person because they go to church regularly? And it's like, can we just really talk about what really matters? How do you make me feel, right? How do you treat me? How do you honor me? How do I in return for you? Anyways, moral of the motherfucking story. Don't ask me if he's saved, okay? I want to talk about this article that I came across because of my boo sent it to me. Oh, he is so like interesting. I really like his mindset. So oftentimes I don't like it when people, it's funny how I say I really like his mindset that I go into. I don't like it when people disappoint. Listen, I don't like it when people don't say how they feel directly, right? Okay, like, you know, some people would like send a picture of words to someone they like, and it's like, okay, what do you feel though? Like, describe your feelings, not what these words say. Describe your feelings. Or like they'll send a verse of the song or like an actual song, send that link to you. Like, nigga, what are you trying to say? Okay, so this is what kind of happened. Well, this is what exactly happened between me and my dude. So he sent me this article, and once I read it, once I got it from him, I was like, oh, I gotta talk about this. I gotta talk about it. Oh my god, you know I haven't told him that like I'm a podcaster. Anyways, I just feel like, okay, so like I don't know. I just feel like some things you don't need to know. No, I just talk a lot of shit. I talk a lot of shit to him anyway. Like I am who I am still, you know, and that's what I really like about our thing that we have going on. I'm comfortable to be myself, and as he is with me, and so when I think about this podcast, I'm just thinking like, I don't know if I want him to, because like these are like my inner thoughts, like inner thoughts, and I don't know. Eventually I'll tell him, and it'll come about in conversation. But I just don't want him listening to my stuff. I just feel like some things need to be separate. Like, let's just not talk about this. Okay, whatever. Anyways, so he sent me this article of what Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, said before he died. And pretty much the gist of it is that although I've accumulated all of this wealth and made a great life for myself as far as materialistically, is it materialistically or materially? No, materialistically. Good God. Okay. He's saying that although I have accumulated all of this wealth and have made a great life for myself, and I'm a successful businessman, and I have, this legacy that I have left for my loved ones, right? he realized that what's most important is love. What's most important is the relationships that you make with people, the intangible things, the things that you have desired for yourself when you were younger, the dreams that you had for yourself, the art that you had for yourself, all these amazing things that are intangible that really fulfills your heart, right? And there's a couple of lines in this article that really stuck out to me was that, I'm going to read it. So it says here, now I know when we have accumulated sufficient wealth to last our lifetime, we should pursue other matters that are unrelated to wealth. Should be something that is more important, perhaps relationships, perhaps art, perhaps a dream from younger days. Non-stop pursuing of wealth will only turn a person into a twisted being just like me. God gave us the senses to let us feel the love in everyone's heart, not the illusions brought about by wealth. The wealth I have won in my life, I cannot bring with me. Say that. I'm going to say it again. The wealth I have won in my life, I cannot bring with me. What I can bring is only the memories precipitated by love. That's the true riches which will follow you, accompany you, giving you strength and light to go on. And this is the best part here. Love can travel 1,000 miles. Life has no limit. Go where you want to go. Reach the height you want to reach. It is all in your heart and in your hands. Okay. So there's a lot of gems in that article. Ultimately, what I got from it was that, sometimes we focus too much on material things, thinking that, if I had this car, if I had this amount in my checkings. See how I'm kind of slowing down my speech with that? Here's the thing. Look, what he's saying is true, right? We shouldn't find happiness in things. Instead, we should find happiness in ourselves, in our relationships, in love, and things that are intangible. But oftentimes people who say that are rich as fuck. And I'm just so sick of it. Like, I'm sick of rich people telling people who are not rich that these riches don't matter. Yes, they do. Cut the shit. I'll be happier if I have more money in my account. Can we talk about it? I will be much happier when I know without a shadow of a doubt that all of my rents will be paid for, right? If, I was able to save and put down money for a home and I could pay my mortgage seamlessly, I will be happy as fuck. I will be at peace with that, right? And I get the whole message of material things don't last and we put value in those material things. Okay, yeah. And those things, having these riches helps me to get by. Okay? Helps me to not live off the street. Helps me to not do things that I would not normally do just to stay afloat. Like, cut the shit. Like, I'm so sick of that. Look, I get the whole message and I didn't want to kind of go in on a tangent with him, when he sent me that link to that article. But I just felt like, I'm so sick of that whole pattern of rich people saying to people who are not rich, all this money doesn't matter. Really? Because that house you living in sure does matter to me. Huh? That paycheck you're getting from being a judge on this talent show sure does matter to me. I would love to have that be a matter. I don't know. I just think instead of wording it like that, there should be some clear message said about, yes, money matters, and yes, being financially stable matters. I really think that's a part of freedom, right? People like to say, no, it's the way you think. Freedom is in your mind. It's the way you think. It's just you're free. Hotep nigga, please get the fuck out of my face. Hotep nigga, let me say it again. Get the fuck out of my face. Freedom is not just in your mind. Freedom comes with knowing that I am financially secure. Freedom comes with knowing I have money being accumulated while I go to sleep. Okay? Freedom comes in that, knowing that I have enough money for gas, for my rent, to go out to eat, and to get some drinks, and get groceries, and decide, yeah, I know I just got some groceries, but I want to go out to Ruth Chris. What's up? Give me a steak. Give me that filet. You know, and it's just like, oh, all these rich ass people talking about there's no happiness in money. Yes, there is. Yes, the fuck there is. I'm happy. Or I'm not happy because I don't have the amount that you have. And I'm not saying that there isn't like there should obviously be a sense of stability in your mind when it comes to happiness, when it comes to peace. Like, you should be spiritually sound, mentally sound, because a lot of people who are rich are not happy. A lot of people who are rich still battle with demons and have not found effective ways to heal. And so, though they may be rich, they are super sad inside. And I get that. I totally get that. And I'm not going to say but, because but overrides what I said previously. So I'm going to say and to that point, understand that those who are not rich, those who have to struggle and think, okay, if I pull money from this account and I pull money from this other account, and maybe if I ask my aunt to give me this amount, I could put everything together and cover next month's expenses. And it's like, I just feel like there is a peace in knowing that you have this financial security. There is this peace in knowing that you have this freedom. You have a freedom in your finances. And when that isn't stable, when that isn't secure, there is this panic. There is this feeling of fear, like, oh my gosh, what if everything is taken from me? What if? Yet those who are rich, they don't have that what if. They don't, unless they got their money through, illegal activity. Then it's like, okay, your life is in danger, run. But those who are rich and have accumulated wealth, the safe way, right? They don't have to worry if their money's gonna get snatched from them. They don't have to worry about if the light's gonna be on for a little bit longer until the next paycheck come in. Like, there's real life struggles that people go through, and it's so diminished when people who are rich say things like that. Like, oh, there's real freedom. Love is really how it goes. Love is the way to go. I love, y'all. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I get the message. But love doesn't pay my bills. Can't pay my bills. Can't pay my bills. Like, it doesn't pay it. I can't be like, hey, rental office, I love y'all. And I love this environment that I'm in. I love the safety that I have here. I love the treats that you guys give us weekly. Can this pay my rent for next month? Huh? Can it? I just want to know. Can the love? Do you accept payment in love? No, bitch. It'll be Visa, MasterCard, or check. Ain't no love, B. Like, cut the shit. Cut it. Cut it out. Anyways. But I responded to him. I'm just like, wow, that was deep. That was deep. After all the shit I just said, that was deep. That was deep. Wow. You're so insightful. I'm funny. Okay. Yo, I just had a lot to say. And I'm gonna go. Anyways, I'd like to acknowledge that I've been recording this podcast for a year now. Like, and I didn't really have like a thing. Like, I'm awful. I'm like just ridiculous. I would love to eventually have like, meet and greet. I don't fucking know. I don't know how that goes. I don't know. That gives me anxiety. I don't know. But I do want to acknowledge and name the fact that I've been recording and doing this podcast for a year now. And I love it. I love that I took a leap of faith and decided to just go for it. As those around me may know, I love The View. The show The View on ABC. That talk show with Whoopi, Sunny Hostin, Joy Behar, Meghan McCain's ass, and Abby Huntsman, whatever her name. Anyways, but I love the concept of women, especially them, who come together every day and share their opinions and are bold and are confident and are courageous in sharing their thoughts, their mindset on any matter, right? And I was always drawn to shows like that. I was always drawn to people being bold and speaking up, speaking out, speaking against, speaking for. And I've always done that naturally throughout my life. And I just realized, like, you know how you get older, you just kind of, I'm so reflective. I'm so introspective, you guys. And I encourage you all to be the same, because it really, when you really spend time with yourself, you really get to know who you are more and more, especially when you're away from expectations of other people, or when you're away from just anything. When you're alone, you really get to sit down and be like, wow, this is really who I am. This is what I like, or this is what I don't like. This is what I am more attracted to. This is what I'm passionate about. And so when I watch shows like The View, or specifically The View, because I love that show, it inspires me to be more of who I am. It inspires me to speak up and to speak unapologetically and to speak without saying, I'm sorry, but, or to speak without saying, I don't like to say just anymore. Or speak without saying kinda. You know, I kind of feel like, instead of saying kinda, just say, I feel like, or this is happening and this is not okay. Or, you know, speaking with more diction, speaking with more assertiveness. And those ladies on the show, whether I agree with everything that they're saying or not, they inspire me. You know, I'm gonna say Meghan McCain, so trigger warning. But Meghan McCain, although she is controversial in her way, she's a lot of things. But what I respect and what I really admire about her is her confidence in herself, is her tenacity to still stand in her opinions, no matter how controversial they may be to other people. So I say that to say, when I started this podcast, I was nervous, of course, and I said it initially that I was nervous because I didn't know people cared about my voice. I didn't know my voice was important. And I've always had a voice. I always had an opinion about something. And it just came about naturally. Like, when the wave of podcasts came, and when I started listening to podcasts about 5 years ago, I said to myself, I want to do this. I want to start my own podcast. I want to speak on opinions, or speak on issues that matter, or speak on issues that matter to me. And I'm glad that I said that I wanted to do it, and I did it. So I'm just really proud of myself. I'm getting kudos to myself. And I wish I would have done something, but like, I just like that I'm even acknowledging the fact that I did it. And you could do it too. I mean, you could do whatever you want to do. You just got to do it. And I'm still struggling with like just staying confident in all of my endeavors. I have so many ideas that I am still just now finally kind of putting things in like procession, you know? I don't like to talk about like ideas in the process, because I feel like it's all talk, right? I just want to say that more is coming and more is coming with this podcast, with this brand, with my brand here. And I'm just excited for what's to come. But yeah, oftentimes it's definitely an active choice, a journey that I have to make with myself to still stand up and still speak up for myself and to go forth with my ideas. So instead of being timid, when I watch shows like The View, I feel more encouraged to speak up and speak out. Anyways, I really appreciate everyone who tunes in, everyone who comments and subscribe. I encourage you all to email godbuiltthis@gmail.com to send any topic suggestions, to send any listener mail that you would like for me to read. Maybe you have a situation that you're going through. Maybe you need some advice on something. Maybe you need my personal opinion on something, whether you take it or not, has advice or not. If you just want to hear my thoughts on something that you may be going through, I am so here for it. So please, I encourage any emails, and I'll read on the podcast, and we'll engage more. I say that what I'm about to say right now may sound like I don't mean what I'm saying, but a lot of people come to me and just start talking like about their life, and I'm just like, at what point in this conversation did I say you could tell me about your life? Okay, all I said was good morning. That's all I said, sis. Why are you talking about your ex-fiance? Why are you talking about your handicap condition? Why are you talking about anything to me aside from good morning right back? Aside from the small banter that we naturally would have at work, right? And I just feel like it's so funny because I had an experience just today of a woman coming to me, and me and her will chat here and there. And she always go on in conversation with me, and I'm just like, what about me is allowing her to feel so comfortable to tell me about her life story? Sis, good morning and good night. What? Why are we still talking? I just want to lock myself in the room. Stop coming in. Stop. If the door's locked, it's locked. Leave me alone. Okay? But I say that because I recognize, although in some I'm thinking, oh, just leave me the fuck alone, right? I do recognize that externally I present myself in a manner that makes people feel comfortable with me. I know that I do that. I know people, I know how I am when I converse and when I interact and when I engage with people. I make you feel special. I make you feel like your voice and your thoughts and your feelings matter, because they do, of course. I don't want anyone to feel like they don't matter, because I know how that feels like. I know how it feels like to have a thought or feeling about something and then not just feel dismissed, but to be dismissed. That's the worst feeling. And so when I started this podcast, we could go back to that real quick, but when I started this podcast, it was my way of recognizing my feelings and being proud of my feelings, being proud of my thoughts, and to not let shame dictate how I feel about myself, or dictate anything, or let other people's shame expectations dictate who I am. Instead, I like to embrace who I am more and more, and this podcast has allowed for me to do that. So I'm just so proud of myself. I'm impressed with myself, and there's a lot more that I am working on, that I am doing, that will put into fruition the thoughts and the ideas and the dreams that I have for what's to come. I was thinking about my life and career-wise, what I want to do. I know I don't want to teach forever, teach within a classroom setting. I've been teaching for 6 years now, and although I love the art of teaching and teaching of the art of literature, of themes in movies or written work, I am more in love with the art. I'm more in love with the writing aspect. I'm more in love with the written work, with the written word. And I want to develop a career in that solely. Like, I don't want to focus on teaching within a classroom setting and worrying about, let's have a parent-teacher conference. Let's have professional development day. And it's like, ugh, I really don't give a fuck. Are you gonna turn it in or not? Huh? So I'm really in a space where I'm working out my next steps. Having a teaching job is good, right? It pays the bills and all. But I want to do work that really is passionate to me. And art is passionate to me. I love art. I love writing. I love comedy. I love comedy. Gosh, I love comedy. Art, poetry, literature, reading books, like stuff, anything in that aspect, in that sect, I would love to develop a career in. And so I don't know exactly what that looks like. So I'm working that out. And if you have any ideas, suggestions, please send them my way. And I'm really surprised that I even said that out loud, because I'm timid about sharing things like that when it comes to career talk. And what I really want to do, I'm really timid about sharing that. And I really didn't really say what I really want to do, but I know what I really want to do. And I kind of bubbled it with other words. But anyways, I just want to say, what the fuck was I saying earlier? Anyways, I'm thankful that I have been keeping this podcast going. I'm thankful that it's been a year and I did it. I'm thankful that you guys have been listening and it's continuously growing. I'm growing with it. Anyways, I'm babbling, but thank you for tuning in. Please, please, please follow our Instagram at God Built This, and follow me on my personal page at Hey Mamore. Okay? I'm out, y'all. I'll check in with you guys next week. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of God Built This podcast with your host, Maxine. Be sure to follow and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and SoundCloud, and also leave a comment. God bless.